Good afternoon, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? Cool. Cool. Yeah. So I'm Soups. I'm CEO, co-founder of Sardine. We are a behavior-based fraud prevention company. And today I'm going to be talking to you about, as the world of fraud and scams has evolved, how we think about authentication and identity verification has to evolve as well. So Sardine, we work with 300 institutions globally. We work with fintechs, banks, payment companies, as well as high-risk industries such as crypto exchanges, gift cards, and marketplaces. And you can see a list of some of the customers that we work with over here. So Warren Buffett has said that fraud and financial crime will be the biggest industry of all time. And we all know that we should never bet against Warren Buffett, right? And as we are seeing, AI-generated scams and AI-generated deepfakes have really proliferated to the extent that you can no longer trust people when they say who they are, right? So this video that you see playing over here, on the right of the screen is me. On the left of the screen, I'm impersonating the head of risk of one of my customers. So whenever somebody is doing a selfie verification during online KYC, or when you're doing a video interview of a candidate, do you really trust who they say they are? Probably not, because it's so easy to generate these deepfake videos. It took me 30 seconds to generate a deepfake where I could actually move my face side to side and impersonate as him, right? However, with the technology that Sardine has built, we can detect these deepfakes in real time, because at the end of the day, when you're injecting the deepfake back, we look at how it is being injected. And now that brings me to the main point of this presentation, which is that identity verification or authentication online, when you think about 2FA, the two factors, the first factor is what you know, which is your password. The second factor is who you are, which we said basically corresponds to your device. However, with the rise in deepfakes, et cetera, and the rise in scams, people are being phished to the extent that scammers can impersonate you because they have obtained your OTP code and they can enter it as you, right? Or there are SIM swap attacks where they have actually taken control of your phone number. So therefore, what a lot of fintechs and banks have now gone on to is that they're also doing selfie-based authentication as the third factor. However, fraud is really a cat and mouse game. If you do selfie-based liveness checks, even that can be deep faked, as I showed you earlier. So then the real question becomes, how do you actually then prove that you are who you say you are, right? So at Sardine, we believe that in order to truly verify somebody who they are, you have to not just look at how they look or how they talk, because how you look or how you talk can be deep faked, right? Because for all of us, you must have some video online of yourself on YouTube, and a scammer just needs a few seconds of your face or your audio to replicate you. And therefore, in order to truly identify you, you have to look at your device behavior. So for instance, in that deepfake video that I showed you earlier, when I was impersonating my friend, what was the orientation of the device? Was the device actually face down and then I was doing a deepfake? Was the camera even in front of me? Because all those signals, like your intrinsic signals, are what truly define you. The way you hold your phone, the way you type, the way you move your mouse, etc. And we have this saying at Sardine that to truly define you, it's not just your extrinsic identity, which is your face or your audio. It's also all about your intrinsic identity. And these intrinsic signals, like how you type, how you swipe, how you hold the phone, etc., they cannot be replicated by AI because that information is not publicly available, right? So that is the main message I have, because who you really are is defined by not just what you know or not just the phone you have, but truly who you are is defined by your intrinsic behavior, right? So that is the main message I have. And I'm going to just skip through a few of these slides. I just want to give you a little bit more visual of how Sardine goes about detecting these things. So for instance, if a scammer is socially engineering you and you are not typing your OTP, we look at your typing behavior. Are you stressed when typing it, right? Or if you have a malware on your device, which is actually now looking or eavesdropping on your password and is going to replicate it, then the malware, it actually types very differently than a human would type. In fact, you could go even deeper, right? So for instance, when you're typing, as I said earlier, what is the orientation of the phone? So I'm sure all of you have seen videos online of these scam centers in Southeast Asia, where they have racks and racks of devices. They're all in the same fixed orientation, and there's no tap pressure, and you may be typing, but the battery is 100% charged in a data center, etc. So those are the type of signals we get into. In fact, we go even deeper, which is if a scammer is socially engineering me, if I'm on an active call with the scammer, right, while I'm doing a transaction, we'll tell you. Or there are remote access tools out there, like TeamViewer, AnyDesk, or even Zoom calls. Scammers often have you on these calls, and they are telling you what to do. They're asking you to do KYC. They're asking you to take a screenshot or what have you. And then at the right moment, they'll actually blank your screen, and then they can move the mouse on your screen, and they can move your money out, right? So with Sardine's technology, if our SDK is embedded in your banking application, then we can tell you that when somebody was typing, there was somebody else actually remotely controlling the screen. So we have quickly grown our consortium. So across 300 customers that we work with globally, our consortium is now more than 3 billion devices. And the other fact I want to share here is that fraudsters, they often live in the gaps between the different point solutions that your bank might be using. I'll give you an example. Before I founded Sardine, I used to head fraud for companies like Coinbase, and I was heading financial crime prevention for companies like Revolut. And one of the common attack patterns that we had seen at these places was that bank impersonation scams, which is somebody might take somebody might create a replica of your website. It takes like 30 seconds to do it. They take a replica of Bank ABC, except when you look at the URL, there's maybe an umlaut or a dot on top of the A, and you don't pay attention. You may be like, maybe there's a dust on the screen. However, now you type in your password on this bank fake ABC, and then they take the password and they replay it. When they replay it, then they can actually get into the application. They can get a new virtual card issued as you. They add the virtual card to Apple Pay, Google Pay, and then they go on a spending spree. Point solutions that banks are using might see that, hey, I live in San Francisco, so Soups never usually travels to Dubai. Why is he spending in Dubai? But they have no idea this attack started as a phishing scam up front. So therefore, what Sardine is all about is stitching all these different point solutions together in one platform so that we could tell you that that scam that happened at the card swipe, it actually originated as a phishing scam. So that's basically all the time I have. You can find out more about us at our website, sardine.ai. Thank you.